everybody. Welcome to Jubilee Circle on this beautiful, beautiful chilly Sunday. All right, we ready? Michael, you there? Okay. 2, 3, 4. Reisman, give it up for them this morning. Woo! When you got a good band, you just gotta flaunt it, right? So good morning, everybody. Welcome to Jubilee Circle. We're so glad to have you with us this morning. We are continuing our Via Creativa theme, Becoming Light. We give birth to the creative light of love in this world by being willing to change, becoming aware of the world in new and deeper ways, recognizing spiritual growth as our head knowledge becomes a heart knowing, and then we embody that light into the world. And we're going to explore this fourfold path during this Via. It was Catholic theologian Richard Rohr who said, all spiritual disciplines have one purpose: to get rid of illusions so we can be present. These disciplines exist so that we can see what is, see who we are, and see what is happening. And this is the heart of this 4-step process of spiritual growth and enlightenment that I've been trying to lead you through these past 3 weeks. To get rid of illusions, we have to be willing to see that human culture is in a mass hypnotic trance, as Rohr puts it. Then become aware that there is something more going on beneath the surface of this trance. The next step is to recognize or to see that, as Rohr says, what is love. What is love. It is God who is love, giving away God in every moment as the reality of our life. What is love, he says. It is God who is love, giving away God every moment as the reality of our life. When we can see that love is the only thing that is real, we realize, as Rohr says, who we are is love. Because we are created in God's image. What is happening is God living in us, with us, and through us as love. And this jubilance brings us to the final step of our 4-step WHERE process of willingness, awareness, recognition, and embodiment, the E. Embodiment, that's what we're going to talk about today. When we know that God lives in us, with us, and through us, then we become that love in the world. It's not a one-and-done process, though, since we still live in this illusion. We're not going to do any of these steps perfectly. Sometimes we won't be willing to see the world differently. Sometimes the ego trips us up, and the last thing we are able to do is embody love towards some recalcitrant who pisses us off. But the good news is that once you have been willing and aware and have recognized your higher divine self, even if it was just for a short moment, you can never truly go back to the obstreperous world of the ego. Once you know the purpose of your life is to get rid of illusions and be present, then you'll want to pursue that path more often than not. And you'll recover quickly from your missteps, and that will make you say, oh yeah, please rise as you're able. And we begin our celebration the way we do every time by remembering the 4 elements, the air and the earth and the water and the fire. And we burn black sage as a reminder to set our intentions for ourselves personally, but also to set our intention of love for this world. And we orient ourselves in this sacred time and space by calling the 4 directions. So I invite you to turn and face the east. As the sun rises this day and every day, Holy One, remind us of our place in this universe. We are but a speck of a planet in a dot of a universe in the vastness of space. So humble us, Holy One. Give us the perspective we need to face the day's challenges. No matter how big any problem seems, remind us, Holy One, that in the grand scheme of your creation, we are but a moment's sunlight fading in the grass. Quarter turn to the right, we face the south. It's from the south that the Holy gives us our passion, our internal fire to embody that peace and love in the world. And while we do this important work, Holy One, keep us humble. Remind us that we are not the only ones working for justice in this world. Help us to put aside our own egos and join with others who also have a passion for helping bring more love into this world. Quarter turn to the right, and we face the west. As the sun sets and the stars rise this day and every day, Holy One, help us to let go of whatever keeps us from embodying your love in the world. Help us to resist the temptation to believe that we're better than anybody else or even worse than anyone else. Remind us that we're all on this blue boat together, and we have to learn how to love even those we judge to be recalcitrant or obstreperous. Quarter turn to the right, and we face the north. From the north, you remind us, Holy One, of the infinite possibilities that you have stretched out before us in our lives. Help us to rein in our ego that would want to hoard all of these infinite gifts just for ourselves, and instead teach us, Holy One, to be the embodiment of your generosity so we can harness those infinite possibilities to make this world the best it can be for everyone. And as we turn back toward the center and have a look around the room, you'll find a bunch of people who struggle with their egos. But that's not a bad thing. We all have to love ourselves, even just a little bit, to be able to get out of bed every day and face the world that is constantly telling us that we're nothing without the latest gizmo or gadget or weight loss program. So instead of dumping your ego, the Holy invites us to domesticate it, to train it to serve our higher self. And when we can finally get our ego to sit and stay and even roll over, then we know we are on the right track, and that will help us all say, oh yeah. All right, let's spread some sage around here this morning. There, you got it. All right, Arlo, you get your little dose too, buddy. All right, we got a good crowd here in the building, and thank you for joining us also online. Let's get everybody good and saged around here. Matt, group sage for the band there. It does. It makes you smarter and better looking. Yeah. Of course, I didn't think Bob could get any better looking either. That's right. That's why Justin's so handsome. He just sages himself constantly. All right. So remain standing, and we will sing our opening song. Just a little imaginary excursion of what it would be if God were one of us. Whoops. Wait a minute, Michael. Make sure everybody's ready. 2, 3, 4. Let's try that again. 1, 2, 3. That's better. We're all lightly rehearsed this morning. I invite you during this opening song to greet one another as well. Say hey in any safe and socially distanced way that you see fit. If God had a name, what would it be, and would you call it to his face? If you were faced with him in all his glory, what would you ask if you had just one question? Yeah, yeah, God is great. Yeah, yeah, God is good. Yeah, 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 yeah. What if God was one of us? Just a smile like one of us. Just a stranger on the bus trying to make his way home. If God had a face, what would it look like, and would you want to see? If seeing meant that you would have to believe in things like heaven and Jesus and the saints and all the prophets. Yeah, yeah, God is great. Yeah, yeah, God is good. Yeah, 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 yeah. What if God was one of us? There's God right there. Just a smile like one of us. Just a stranger on the bus trying to make his way home. Trying to make his way home. Back up to heaven all alone. Nobody calling on the phone. Except for the Pope maybe at home. Bruce Clark, everybody. Yeah, yeah, God is great. Yeah, yeah, God is good. Yeah, 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 yeah. What if God was one of us? Just a smile like one of us. Just a stranger on the bus trying to make his way home. Trying to make his way home. Like a holy rolling stone. Back up to heaven all alone. Just trying to make his way home. Nobody calling on the phone. Except for the Pope maybe in Rome. Oh yeah, that was fun. You may be seated. Welcome everybody. Again, welcome to those lovely quarter faces here in the building, and all of you unmasked at home out there. We're glad to have you with us today, however you have chosen to join us. We are Jubilee Circle, and we are an inclusive, progressive, interfaith community here in Columbia, South Carolina. We teach the timeless common wisdom of love and unity that is found in all mainstream religions, in metaphysical philosophies, mysticism, and the inspired secular and religious writings of teachers throughout the ages, because truth is truth. It speaks with many different voices, and we try to be aware to hear wherever it comes from. We use popular music, teachings, weekly celebrations, educational and artistic events, and other community building activities as we try to create a space for everybody to experience their own transformations so then they can go out and be that transformation in the world. It's embodying. It's what it's all about. And we believe that we're here to expand our souls, to find a deeper meaning in life, to renew our commitment to love and peace and justice, and learn how to love wastefully and undergo transformation from the inside out, so we can learn how to live more and more into our higher divine self. And we also recognize that we are God's good creation. We're not just made out of stardust, but we are also formed in God's love and joy. And we humans, we forget that. We believe that we are separate. We come into this world and we perceive separate bodies moving around, so we think that we're not one. But we really are. But we just go around and judge people. That's beautiful, that's ugly, that's good, that's bad, they're generous or stingy, they're loving or recalcitrant, belligerent, obstreperous, all sorts. What's that? Contumacious? Wow. Somebody has gotten out their thesaurus. And there's all sorts of words for recalcitrant, but let us remember our true function here at Jubilance. It is to remember that we have never left our unity with God and one another, and that we are in this world to wake up to that reality and remember who we truly are. Oh, yeah. All right, so a few announcements. Next Sunday, we continue our Becoming Light Via Creativa theme, and we're going to use some music from Kelly Clarkson to explore light in the darkness. And we invite you to join us here at Jubilee Circle during the week. We have our Course in Miracles meditation group on Wednesdays at 7:30. The meditation workshop is continuing on Thursday. This will be our 4th of 6 weeks, but if folks want to continue, then we can sort of make this a regular thing. If folks want to come every Thursday night and meditate, we can do that. But we are using Sharon Salzberg's Real Happiness book as our guide. And if you haven't come to any of the meditation workshops yet, feel free. You can jump in. You don't have to have been to the past 3 workshops. You can just jump in anytime, and we will meet at 6 p.m. on Thursday. And there is a Zoom link that is available on your bulletin. If you want a bulletin, if you're watching online, you can go to jubileecircle.com and download the PDF, and it will give you everything you need, including that Zoom link, to join us on Thursday. Sundays are Sunday school at 10:30. I had to go and get the drummer this morning because they were so into it. Like, it's time. So Sunday school is very popular, and folks are really enjoying it. So 10:30, be here and get yourself all oriented and calm and zen with some sound healing.
Candace,
yes?
tell them that there is a video link
Oh.
from Sunday School this morning on their community page if they want to watch.
On the Jubilee page? Okay, and if you want a taste of Sunday School, Beth was nice enough to live stream on the Jubilee Circle Facebook page this morning, so check it out on Facebook so you can see what happens at Sunday School, and you can join us and have a good, refreshing Sunday morning. The Jubilee Circle Coffee House and Open Mic is this Friday. Our opening act is a woman named Sydney McMath, who's a professional piano player. I've been told is a fabulous musician, so I'm looking forward to hearing her. So join us Friday night for that. She begins at 7. The open mic starts at 8. Okay, is there anything I'm missing? Anything I'm not saying that I need to be saying?
Yoga?
Okay, I think I covered it.
Yoga?
All right.
Yoga?
Yoga. Oh, well, I got to talk to Malika. I don't know. She says she's starting for 2 nights, but she hasn't told me which ones, so I'll get back with you on yoga. All right. Hear these wise and holy words. This wise and holy woman.
It's debatable. From the Jesus story, Matthew 6:19 through 21. Do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moth and rust consume, and where thieves break in and steal. But store up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust consumes, and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. From A Course in Miracles, Chapter 8, communication ends separation. Attack promotes it. The body is beautiful or ugly, peaceful or savage, helpful or harmful, loving or recalcitrant. Okay. Sorry. According to the use to which it is put. And the body of another you will see the use to which you have put to yours. If the body becomes a means you give to the Holy Spirit to use on behalf of union of the sonship, you will not see anything physical except what it is. Use it for truth, and you will see it truly. Misuse it, and you will misunderstand it, because you have already done so by misusing it. Interpret anything apart from the Holy Spirit, and you will mistrust it. This will lead you to hatred and attack and loss of peace. From Buddhist monk Pema Chodron. The Buddha said that we are never separated from enlightenment. Even at the times we feel most stuck, we are never alienated from the awakened state. This is a revolutionary assertion. Even ordinary people like us, with hang-ups and confusion, have this mind of enlightenment called bodhicitta. The openness and warmth of bodhicitta is in fact our true nature and condition. Even when our neurosis feels far more basic than our wisdom, even when we're feeling most confused and hopeless, bodhicitta, like the open sky, is always there, undiminished by the clouds that temporarily cover it.
These are wise and holy words. Thanks be to the holy. All creation is holy word. All creation speaks volumes of the holy. Hallelujah. All right. As we take time to meditate and come into some silence this morning, I invite you to remember what your body is truly for in this world. The ego believes your body is here to get you ahead. Your body is here, well, for what it calls attack. So attack is, I got to get past the guy in front of me. I mean, it's that simple. That dude who's driving so slow, I got to get in front of him. That's an attack thought. And you know who that attack thought really affects? The one that's sitting there having it. The guy in front of you can't hear you. The politician you're yelling at on the TV can't hear you. It's all affecting only you in that moment. And whatever affects you in that moment is extended into the world. And so when we think about our bodies are here as a communication tool. It's a learning tool so that we can learn how to use our bodies properly to be extensions of love instead of grievance, to be extensions of compassion instead of fear, to be extensions of generosity instead of stinginess, to be loving instead of obstreperous, or whatever it is Jim said. I got to learn that word. I'm learning so much new vocabulary at Jubilee Circle. It's great. So I invite you in this time of contemplation to contemplate how you have used your body. How have you been using your body? Are you using it to be a loving presence in the world? Or are you using it to just move people out of the way because they're between you and something you think you want? I invite you, meditate on your own body this morning. Do a body scan. Feel how you're feeling. Start from your head and go into your shoulders and your body and your feet. Become aware of this gift you've been given, this gift that helps us to learn love and communicate love. that's noisy. Breathe deeply. Our song this morning comes from me. I wrote this song. I wrote this song back in 2018 when the world was really different. It's called What We Become. And it's inspired by a Richard Rohr quote. The chorus is inspired by I have lost the quote. The quote has been lost to history, but something along the lines that whatever we receive, we become. Whatever we welcome, welcomes us. And then we embody that in the world. So whatever that quote was, it was beautiful. Now it's a chorus. All right, here we go. 2, 3, 4. Generosity knocked on my door, and I sent it away, fearing it would ask too much. Greed knocked and I let it in with its promise to keep me full. Love knocked on my door, and I sent it away, fearing it would consume me. Hate knocked and I let it in with its promise to wall off the world. We become what we receive, what we welcome welcomes us. What makes a home in our hearts, we embody in the world. Oh yeah. Growing up, huh? More cowbell. Growing up in the Southern Baptist Church, I was taught that my body was where evil lives. I was told that I had been born with something called original sin. Original sin. Which means that the very depths of my soul had been tainted by the sin of Adam. I was also taught that this body is not really my home, and I can't return to my true home, to God, until I shed this awful, evil thing. Paradoxically, I was also taught that in the time of the resurrection, I will need this body, which is why the strain of Southern Baptists I come from are forbidden from being cremated after death, because you're going to need this evil shell in the resurrection. But I digress. Never made sense to me. Because of all of that, I've had this awkward body. Yes, I have had this awkward body and an awkward relationship with this body for most of my life. It's always felt sort of like an ill-fitting suit. I've never been known for either my flexibility or my grace in this embodiment. However, I have learned that my religious tradition was kind of on the right track with how they read the Bible's origin story. We are all indeed products of Adam's quote-unquote sin. But it wasn't his mistake of dining on the fruit of the tree of knowledge as much as it was falling into the slumber of ignorance. You see, A Course in Miracles points out that while the Bible tells us that God put Adam to sleep, it never says Adam woke up. We're still in this dream. And while in this slumber, Adam dreams that another being springs from himself, and thus the belief in bodies and separation of those bodies came into being within the dream. Jubilants, we're all still in Adam's dream. We're still believing that bodies spring from ours and then they're separate from us. So this does not mean that the body is evil or should be debased or disregarded. Instead, it means that the body is one of our most valuable tools because it is how the Holy can communicate with us and ultimately awaken us by learning the truth about ourselves, that we are the light of the world. And what that really just means is that you are enough because you're all holy. So according to our reading from A Course this morning, the beautiful, wow, I can't speak this morning. The body is beautiful or ugly, it says, peaceful or savage, helpful or harmful, loving or recalcitrant. Yeah, we just add that in. According to the use to which we put it. And in the body of another, you will see the use to which you have put yours. Our belief in the separation means that we often view the bodies around us with suspicion at best and attack at worst. It doesn't mean we physically attack others, though sometimes that happens, but it does mean we attack others with our thoughts, gossiping about them, wishing bad things for others, even being jealous of somebody else's apparent success in the world. But here is the key, according to A Course. Whatever it is we believe about our bodies, we will become the embodiment of those beliefs. If the body, A Course says, becomes a means for you to give to the Holy Spirit to use on behalf of union of the sonship, which is just all of us, you will not see anything physical except as what it is. Use it for truth, use your body for truth, and you will see it truly. Misuse it and you will misunderstand it, because you have already done so by misusing it. So using our body for truth simply means this. We have to become willing for the holy to guide us, which will help us become aware of God's presence in, through, and around us in every moment of life. And this awareness then becomes a recognition of that higher divine self, a moment when head knowledge becomes heart knowing, and we no longer question the truth about ourselves, that God is living as each of us. And when that happens, then we can't help but become the embodiment of that love and that light that has ultimately created us. And of course, we can certainly resist becoming that, which is what the ego is constantly trying to convince us to do. The ego tells us that all this willingness, awareness, recognition, blah, 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 just a bunch of woo-hoo hogwash, just meant to distract you from what it sees as our real goal in this world, to use our body to chase joy and happiness in whatever it is we desire out here in the world, whether it is money or fame or power or romance, or even just to be left alone. I mean, some people just want that. You don't want any of the worldly stuff. You just want to be left alone. But you're using your body wrongly. In this state, as Jesus says, your life becomes consumed with defending the things you have from thieves. Once you get all the things, then you have to defend all the things. Once you let go of all the things, then you have to defend things coming at you. It's all about defense. Something's going to take something away. However, if what you treasure is in heaven, as Jesus says, it can't be taken from you. Now remember, heaven isn't a place. It's not some place with pearly gates and streets of gold. It's a state of mind. And you can choose whether you're there or not. By seeking a state of happiness outside of ourselves, we're all about creating our own hell. This is a place where bodies attack others, and we have to defend what we think is ours against those who might take it from us. When we know, though, that the only treasure worth having is the recognition and knowing of our higher divine self that brings us that peace that passes all understanding, then we can be about creating heaven for ourselves and for everyone right here, right now. We will use our bodies rightly because we understand that our bodies house our divinity, not just ours, but everybody's. And when we know that, then we know that we are enough, that the holy is living through us. And then we want to become that embodiment of that holy higher love in the world. So the question you got to answer this morning, Jubilants, where is your treasure? Because if it's out here, you'll embody that, the values of the world. But if it's in here, then you will embody God's love. Breathe deeply. 2, 3, 4. Kindness knocked on my door, and I sent it away, fearing that it would drain me. religious tradition was right about one thing when it said this body was not my home. And ultimately, it's not. When we do finally awaken from Adam's dream, we don't need bodies anymore. But unlike my tradition, which viewed the body as evil, of course, Jesus and even Buddhist monk Pema Chodron invites us to see our bodies as a valuable tool, something that can help us awaken from this dream of separation, if we're willing to become the embodiment of love. It's okay, baby, it'll be over soon. It's all right. Our bodies can help us attain this state of what the Buddhists call bodhicitta. Chodron says that citta means mind, which is also heart or attitude, and bodhi means awake, enlightened, or completely open. Sometimes, Chodron says, the completely open heart and mind of bodhicitta is called the soft spot, a place as vulnerable and tender as an open wound. It is equated in part, she says, with our ability to love. Even the cruelest person has this soft spot. Even the most vicious animals love their offspring. As Chogram Trungpa Rinpoche put it, everybody loves something, even if it's only tortillas. So jubilants, we embody what we treasure. If we treasure tortillas, perhaps we open the best tortilla food truck in the whole wide world. But if we treasure love, or peace, or joy, then we have the opportunity to be the embodiment of that in the world. Willingness and awareness are key steps in this path to embodiment because we spend a lot of our time unconsciously embodying the beliefs of this illusory world. We embody competition. We embody greed. We embody fear. We embody lack, or the restless pursuit of something outside of ourselves to make us feel safe, to make us feel secure and free. But when we're willing to see a different world and become aware of the true peace, love, joy, and abundance that the Holy is offering us all the time, then we begin to recognize the lies and the tricks of the ego. And we begin to recognize more and more that our higher divine self has been with us all along. Jubilants, you are the light of the world. And what that means is you are already enough. You have no need to pursue what the world calls success. You don't have to wring out your body in pursuit of the world's approval or its wealth or its power. You don't have to defend it against others that you perceive as thieves that might take your possessions or kill your spirit or anything that you think is important to your joy. So think about it. Whenever we say we want things out in this world, whether it's possessions or power or prestige, all we're really saying is that we all want the same thing. I don't care what your politics or whatever is. We all want the same thing, right? We want love. We want peace. We want joy. We want safety and freedom and abundance. But the ego convinces us that all those things can only be found out here, outside of ourselves. And to get them, you have to use your body for attack, to climb the ladder, to move everybody out of the way, so you can get there and get yours before somebody else does and everything is gone. Because there's lack, there's not enough. When we recognize, though, and we know without a doubt that everything we will ever need is already within us, our next step is just to choose to embody all of that love, all that peace, all that joy, all that happiness that we have already. It's there. And this is where we begin to create that heaven that Jesus talks about. When our treasures of love and peace and joy become apparent within ourselves, how we live and move and have our being in this world can't help but fundamentally change. In this moment, we realize we truly lack for nothing. And because of that, we can love wastefully. We can give to others without fear of ever running out of that infinite source of love and peace and joy. We know without a doubt, as Richard Rohr has said, our life becomes all about God living in us, with us, and through us as love. And then somebody cuts you off in traffic. All that peace, love, joy, gone in an instant. Or somebody dares to confront you about your political views or dares to be wrong on Facebook. And we lose our peace. We lose our joy. We lose our love. We're slammed right back into this ego body. And that is where Children offers us a bit of good news. She says even if we are in that situation, we never lose our connection to the holy. When Adam's dream becomes a nightmare, we are not separate from enlightenment. Even at the times we feel most stuck, Children says, we are never alienated from the awakened state. That's a revolutionary assertion, she says. Even ordinary people like us with hang-ups and confusion have this mind of enlightenment. We all have that bodhicitta. The openness and warmth of bodhicitta, she says, is in fact our true nature and condition. It's the same thing the Course says. We're all innocent. That's our true nature. And when we're willing to be open and aware of those moments of choice between where our treasure lies, in the ego's hell or the spirit's heaven, and we recognize the voice for God that calls us to choose our heavenly infinite treasures of peace and love and joy, then we become all those things we welcome. We extend love into the world. So the first step is to remember that our bodies are valuable because they provide a direct link for us between the Holy Spirit and God. And that divinity is within us, divinity created us. And that means that even though we will appear to be in these separate bodies, we all remain in that unified field of love with one another and our Creator. Jubilants, we have not left home. We have simply fallen asleep and dreamed ourselves into another world. So to awaken, we have to recognize that what we become, what we receive is what we become. What makes homes in our heart is really what we're going to embody in the world, whether it's conscious or unconscious. So I invite you this week to deeply consider where your treasure lies. Is it in the things and trappings of this world that give us a false sense of security or freedom? Or is it in heaven, that higher divine place within every single one of us that offers us the infinite treasures of love and peace and joy and safety that the world can never take away? Oh yeah. 2, 3, 4. band makes me sound good.
Especially when we play it right.
Right, especially when we play it right. So thanks, it's a miracle.
It is. That's true.
So thanks to this amazing band, to Tricia Fopp here on the guitar and vocals, to Bruce Clark on the lead guitar, all that noodling, Michael Reisman, sprinkling everything in today. Beth D. Hart back there on the drums, and Keith Edwards Sr. on bass. Mr. Vegan AF over there. You know what that sounds for. You know what that stands for. Air Force. Vegan. He's part of the Vegan Air Force. It's our new secret weapon here in the United States. I don't know how it works. All right. Speaking of secret weapons, the secret weapon that Jubilee Circle has had to stay afloat in these past 2.5 years, coming up on 3, my, has been you, and you, and you, and you, and everybody who has given it of their generosity and their support to keep us going, to keep us in this building, to keep us starting new things like Soundy School and Course in Miracles discussion and our meditation workshop. We're moving ahead. You know, we understand the pandemic is still going on, but we're doing it safely, and we're doing things that we can to move ahead and to help all of us as we seek to have that transformation within, so then we can embody that transformation and move it out into the world. Jess, thank you so much. See, there's that generosity. Okay, all right. we will talk about that. Speaking of talking, that's where we're moving on to next. But if you want to give to Jubilee Circle, if you want to give generously to Jubilee Circle, boy, words are hard today. I don't know, maybe more coffee. I don't know. JubileeCircle.com, that's the place to go. We are also on PayPal and on Venmo, so please give generously, and thank you so much for your past support and your continued support. And we will say we'll bid a good week to those who are watching us on Facebook. No, not Facebook. YouTube, that's the place that we're doing. I'm just going to sit down. Somebody else want to take over? I've apparently lost my mind. But we hope that you have a good week out there in virtual land, and remember, if the only prayer you ever say in your entire life is thank you, it will be enough. And so we say thank you for joining us, and thank you for being out there, and we will see you all virtually next week. Same bat time, same bat station. Oh, yeah. All right, y'all.